Cheesy pasta. You'll be making a white sauce for this, known as a bechamel sauce first. Then with the addition of cheese, it will become a Mornay sauce. You can also choose to add any vegetables or meats of your choice, which will be explained at the end of the video. Weigh out your chosen pasta into a saucepan. Fill this with cold water and place on the hob. Place a clean bowl on some scales and set to 0. Weigh out 25 grams of butter, making sure you're entirely accurate. Put the butter in a cold saucepan and then weigh out your flour. This should be the same amount as the butter, 25 grams. Place the flour in with the butter. You will need to measure out your milk in millilitres. In your jug there is half a litre volume, which is 500 millilitres. We need 300, so make sure you get the correct measurement. Viewing your jug at eye level, make sure you pour the correct amount of milk in. Pour the milk into the cold saucepan and then use a whisk to whisk the flour into the milk, leaving the lump of butter whole. Set the saucepan aside a moment and weigh out your cheese. If you did not pre-cook your pasta, make sure you keep an eye on it and stir it occasionally. Then you can start grating your cheese ready to add to the sauce later. Take care not to cut your fingers as the grater is sharp. Now clean up as you go along by removing any used items and put them in the washing up bowl. At this point, your pasta may well be cooked. Check it's soft and it should have absorbed some water. Place the colander into a clean sink and empty the saucepan into it. Drain away the water and place the colander back on top of the saucepan so it doesn't drip water everywhere. You can now place the sauce on the hob and heat it through. Using a balloon whisk, whisk around the saucepan, making sure to get into the corners. The butter will start to melt and then eventually the sauce will start to thicken. This process can take a while. You may choose to swap to a wooden spoon at points to make sure that you're getting right to the corners of the saucepan and the starch from the flour isn't dropping to the bottom. As you can see, it starts to thicken on the bottom, and if you don't stir it properly, that will set and burn. As you feel your sauce start to thicken, you may change back to a balloon whisk again, making sure you're whisking all the time so that it doesn't go lumpy. At 60 degrees Celsius, the gelatinization process starts, but you won't notice it start thickening until around 85 degrees when the starch starts absorbing more liquid. At 100 degrees Celsius, boiling, the starch molecules have fully absorbed the liquid and are 5 times their normal size. At this point, starch will break open and amylose will be released into the sauce to completely thicken it. If your sauce starts to overboil, lift it off the hob to cool it down a little while stirring. The consistency of your sauce should now be smooth, glossy and lump-free. At this point you can add some additional flavours to your bechamel sauce. Here black pepper and some mustard is being added, but you could choose something like some Worcestershire sauce or even Tabasco to add a spiciness. Bechamel sauce becomes a Mornay sauce when grated cheese is added to it. By being grated, it's in smaller parts and therefore easier to melt into the sauce. Continue to stir the grated cheese into the sauce until it's fully melted and smooth. Finally, remove your sauce from the hob and then add the pasta into the saucepan, giving it a good stir. To add more nutrients, add a vegetable such as broccoli, sweet corn, peas or red pepper. At home, you could add some meat of choice that's been pre-cooked, such as bacon, sausage or chicken, but you can only do this at home as it should only be reheated once. As this dish is quite high in fat, enjoy it as a special treat. Try and serve it with some vegetables. What could go wrong with your sauce? Remember to stir your sauce thoroughly. If the starch molecules drop to the bottom, they will go lumpy as shown. This will end up with burnt bits on the bottom of the pan. The top of the sauce might be runny, but you can't see what's underneath.